In this video, we will be covering how to integrate using u-substitutions. So in this video, we're going to cover the basics of u-substitution and how to use u-substitution for power functions. So here's your 5 basic steps of u-substitution. Every u-substitution problem is going to follow these. So step 1 is going to be choose your u function. This is going to be the function that you're going to be substituting for. In my opinion, this is by far the most important step. Step 2, you're going to be determining the value of dx. This is actually going to be where you're going to solve for dx. And while at first this is going to seem super unintuitive, once you get the hang of it, this is probably going to be the easiest step of everything. Step 3, we're going to substitute in our u function. This is the point where you'll learn if you messed up your initial selection of your u. For step 4, we're back to good old-fashioned integration. This is something you've probably done close to 1,000 times at this point. And finally, this is where we get to put in our original variables. We substitute out our u's for our original functions. Let's go ahead and dive into an example. So here we have our power function example. So we have 2x times, in parentheses, x squared plus 9, and the parentheses are going to be raised to the 5th power. The dx on the very end is going to let us know what we're integrating with respect to. So while technically we could just go ahead and multiply x squared plus 9 out 5 times and then just go ahead and apply our power function, we're going to go ahead and use integration with the u substitution to make this much easier. So the first step is of course going to be selecting our u. So generally, what you're going to do is we'll go ahead and split this into 2 different functions, right? So we have 2x on the outside, and then we have x squared plus 9, and that's all raised to the 5th power. So a basic idea, or a basic, not necessarily a rule, but something that works most of the time, is we'll take the more complicated expression, and that will be our u function. So in this case, of course, that would be x squared plus 9. But as for a simple case like this, a perfect world scenario, we can just take the derivative of each of these, and if either one equals the other function, then that is our u. So if we take the derivative of 2x with respect to x, that's going to be 2, which does not equal x squared plus 9. So that's going to be our giveaway that this probably isn't our u function. We'll go ahead and do the derivative of the other. So derivative of x squared plus 9 with respect to x is going to be 2x. So our u function in this case is going to be x squared plus 9. And that means that our du is going to be everything else that's left. So that means that our du will be equal to 2x dx. So whichever function isn't the u, we're going to go ahead and tag on our dx, dy, whatever it is that we're integrating with respect to. So in cases where it doesn't work out perfectly and our derivative of u is not exactly du, we would have to solve for dx. But in this case, because our u function's derivative is exactly du, we can go ahead and skip on to step 3. So of course, step 3 is where we actually go ahead and plug in and we do our substitution. So we're going to have the integral of u, which we replaced x squared plus 9 with u. We go ahead and carry the outside function that it had, so u to the 5th, and then we tag on our du, which is everything else that was left in the problem. So now our problem looks like the integral of u to the 5th power du. And this is as straightforward of an integral as you can get. So when we take the integral of u to the 5th power, we get u to the 6th power divided by 6 plus c. And then from here, we just plug in what we had for u. So when we plug in our x squared plus 9, we will have x squared plus 9 to the 6th power now, and then we'll go ahead and multiply this by 1/6, and this is of course going to be plus c. And that's the basics to a power function. So in our last question, I told you that we could skip over the second step, and of course we can if it works out like that. But in other examples, such as this one, that may not be the case. So with that said, let's go ahead and take step 1. So of course that's going to be splitting your problem up into 2 portions. And then generally, like I said, we can just select our u to be the more complicated side of the function, which of course in this case is x squared plus 9. From there, we go ahead and take the derivative of our u. So du equals 2x dx. Where things are going to be a little bit different. So like in the last question, where we were able to basically hand wave step 2, you're going to notice that in this case, we can't substitute 2x dx for 4x dx. So how do we solve that? How do we go about it? And of course, the simple answer is we're going to go ahead and multiply both sides by 2. This gives us 2 du is equal to 4x dx. And of course, we're able to do that because we did it to both sides of the equation. So then we'll go ahead and plug in our u substitution from here. So we have 2u, which we're substituting out x squared plus 9 for, to the 5th power du. So the 2 and the du are from the 4x dx part, and then the u is just x squared plus 9. So from here we can go ahead and simplify our integral just a little bit, and we'll go ahead and pull out the 2, and then we have u to the 5th du. So this probably looks a little bit familiar. So we'll take the integral of this, u to the 6th power divided by 6 plus c. Now the major difference from the last problem is that this whole thing is going to be multiplied by 2. So from here, there's a little bit of simplification that we can do. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out the over 6, and we'll have 2 over 6 times u to the 6th power plus c. So c is a constant, so we can basically divide it or multiply it by whatever we want, and it's not going to change it. There's no effect on it. So of course, 2/6 can easily be reduced to 1/3 u to the 6th power plus c. And then our last step, once again, we're just going to plug in what we had for u, which in this case is x squared plus 9. So we have 1/3 x squared plus 9 in parentheses to the 6th power plus c. And that's how you would go ahead and solve even when you have to do step 2. I would like to take this time to thank you for watching this video. If you have any other math related questions, please feel free to email them to me at aankrum.tutoring@gmail.com or drop them in the comments section. Listed below are some of the subjects that I feel comfortable tutoring in. Once again, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.